I chose Full Sail because it was math based, but in reality I chose Full Sail for its quick pace. I have 2 small children and didn't want to spend years getting my master's degree. And I wanted something I could really use in my classroom. I wanted to learn something new to improve my teaching practice and take it back into my classroom the next day. And that's exactly what Full Sail gave me. It seemed to offer an education I could turn around and immediately start implementing in my classroom. When thinking about what was the most enlightening part of the program, it was difficult to find one thing I think that really stood out. But if I really have to think about it, I do think it's probably my action research. I chose parent communication because I knew it was something that I kind of lacked in. I but wasn't always willing to put myself out there to communicate with parents. And I have a child next year who will be entering kindergarten, and realized I want his teachers to be willing to communicate with me. And knowing that I'm not so scary really made me think that the parents in my classroom aren't so scary either. And so doing my action research and really thinking about what I could do to communicate with parents made me really look at myself, and I learned a lot about myself during the process. So it was a good thing. I think what was probably the most challenging part of Full Sail was the pace. Each class is every 4 weeks, as we all know, and it goes by so fast, and so at times it felt like I would just learn something new and we were already on to something else. So it was difficult at times, and there were tough nights and late nights, and some of those with happiness and some of those with tears, and some pretty good nights of frustration. But overall it was good. It was fast, it was quick, and it was worth it. My advice to somebody starting this program is be willing to take a risk. There's no greater reward than stepping out, reaching out, or jumping in with both feet. And that's paid off for me many, many times over the last 12 months of my journey. There have been times I said to myself, just go for it. And I've gone for it. And in the end, that proverbial leap of faith has always paid off. It's always been worth it. Another piece of advice I would give would be to ask questions. Be willing to put yourself out there if you're confused. And as everybody always says, there's no such thing as a stupid question. You may feel stupid asking it, but I can guarantee you somebody else is thinking about it and wondering about it as well. And there's also no shame in wanting more information. It's probably better to ask for clarification and get it done right and get it done the first time than to have to do it over and over and over again. My future plans will be to immediately start breathing again. I feel like over the last 12 months I have been running at full speed and really haven't had a chance to slow down. So it's going to be nice to not only wrap up Full Sail, but wrap up the end of the school year and then really take the summer to sit back and reflect and decide what I'm going to do next year with everything that I've learned and all this newfound knowledge. So it's going to be nice to think about that. In the farther future, I guess my hope is this degree will give me a chance to possibly get out of a classroom that's so focused on books and daily, routines, and really find something that's 21st century for kids, because the way we teach now isn't necessarily 21st century, and part of the reason I came to Full Sail was to get that 21st century learning and really learn how to be a good 21st century teacher.